Good evening, people. My name is JR and I am the FRgooner. I'm joined this week by Marcelo, Naber, we've got Colleen, and we've got Kerr. How are you guys today?
All
All
good,
good,
thanks, bro.
man. All good,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man. Happy,
Good week,
happy.
good week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
complain.
It's been flying since last week, man. So
So I'm
I'm
saying
good.
on the football front, everything's been positive so far. We're going to start off with the news about Abramovich, with his plans to sell Chelsea. Came as a bit of a shock. Um, I don't know. I'll start with you, Marcelo. What do you feel about this, and do you think this will have any negative effects on Chelsea at all?
I think my overall thoughts are, I mean, first of all, sending love to the people of Ukraine. Um, but, it is wild now that Chelsea's only real period of relevance is now permanently tarnished by the fact that he's best friends with a, dictator and violator of human
Mm,
rights. So I'll get that out of the way. But I really don't think it'll have too much effect on them. I think it's going to be hard for them to sell the club because, they owe him so much already. But I feel like there's got to be someone out there that's willing to put the money down. So I'm not going to get my hopes too high about them becoming irrelevant again. I just don't see that happening. But, they're forever marked now by the fact that he's boys with Putin. So there's that.
yeah, I mean, he bought the club for 140 million, which is like Lukaku and probably his right foot. On top of that, or maybe Coutinho. He's looking to sell it. Well, he rejected a 2.5 billion pound offer, and he's willing to write off all the debts as well. So he's given something like he's given some of the proceeds to Ukraine as well. So he's obviously trying to do the positive thing, the right thing. It's a gesture, at least. But from a football front, I don't know, the Bear. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think this would how will this affect Chelsea, if at all?
Yeah, I think in terms of football stuff, if it comes to politics, that's another
Yeah,
story. And I think we can look across the board of other clubs as well, and they've got some iffy political human rights stuff going on as well. So to be fair, we'll park that. But what I would say, he is top two football owners of all time for me. The first was when I was a young kid. The TV mogul in Italy, Silvio Berlusconi.
yeah,
He
yeah,
bought
yeah.
AC
Old
Milan,
school.
and the thing is, he just took it on to another level. But I think with Abramovich, he was actually linked with Arsenal. I don't know if you guys actually knew before. That was the club that was touted for before. But he by far is the best owner for me, or has been in terms of football stuff. It's not only the money that is pumped in, it just seems that he actually understood football. And I like their model. We are the biggest club in terms of the amount of trophies we've won. But since he's been here, came in 2003, Chelsea, I think, have won more trophies. That's two Champions League. They're world champions. I think they've got 5 or 6 Premier League titles. Europa League twice. They've won everything. And you just think to yourself, if he took over Arsenal, I think us guys now, as fans, would at least have a minimum of probably 2 European Cups, like standard. That's a testament to the job that he's done at Chelsea. Whether you like Chelsea, you don't like Chelsea, it was hard to see them lift 2 Champions Leagues. But for me, he's just the best owner. No sentiments when the manager has to go. There's no like, oh, he's
Yeah,
played
he's
for us,
brutal.
you're gone, bro. But the model works. Everybody questions it, but the model works as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a loss for Chelsea. Of course, as Arsenal, you're going to be happy because it's tough to topple them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the next owner can touch Roman. So maybe that's good news for us. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And there's rumors that Mike Ashley is due to
Oh,
put in a bid. Well, I'm
that would
joking
be
there. I wanted to get a
beautiful.
smile from you lot, man, but that's I wish. Another piece of news that came out today was obviously the sale of Gunduzi for 11 million pounds, or 11 million euros, in fact, to make it worse. Colleen, what's your thoughts on that, in terms of that sale?
I mean, me personally, I've always liked Guendouzi. I know he's a bit of like a polarizing figure, but I've always liked him. But if we're going to persist with Mikel as our head coach, we're already aware that he has his certain line and non-negotiables. So clearly he wasn't in tow with it. And thus far, with how this season has gone anyway, and after Aubameyang going and like kind of the similar situation and whatnot, it's kind of his way. So I'm trusting him and the board on this. I think we could have got more for such a young French prospect who got captain the under 21s France. He's in and out of the senior French team, but that's neither here nor there. He's played relatively well for Marseille, but if Arteta's not going to use him, what's the point? But we are still very light in midfield, but it's not like he was going to come back now anyway. So you kind of just have to accept it. I personally would have liked to have seen him develop under Arteta and liked to have seen him in an Arsenal squad. I just think he's just got that something about him that I personally like. But, you know, it's kind of Mikel's way or no way. And at the minute, it seems like the squad have got quite a nice harmony. Like you can see that they support each other and are playing for each other. Like you saw when Gabriel made that mistake against Wolves, he had Ramsdale just like getting him back, you know, just like supporting him. So you can see what Arteta's trying to build. So I'm trusting him, but I don't. If I could choose, I would like to still have him as an Arsenal player personally.
Yeah. Kurt, do you agree? Would you have kept him? Was Arteta a bit hasty in getting rid of Guendouzi? Do you think a bit of man management should have been put in place there, where you know you've got I seen the Bear's face. You've got a bit of he's a young midfielder, but obviously a midfielder with talent. We've obviously replaced him with the likes of Lokonga, who doesn't seem much better. Obviously, he's got to develop as well. But what's your thoughts on the Guendouzi?
It's a bit of a tough one, if you ask me, because I did think he had the potential to be an asset for the club. If not that, at the very least, if we was going to get rid of him, to actually be a profitable asset at least. Because the way his trajectory was going initially, that's all you could see for him, you know. At one point you was hearing quotes of him, you know, as up there being one of the golden boys and all this, that and the other, being quoted at all 40, 50 millions. And then all of a sudden now he's gone for 8 million because he's had a fallout with Arteta. So I just feel like, yes, he was petulant. Yes, he does seem to have a little bit of that nature about him, because it's not just Arteta that's had issues with him. It seems to have been a couple of managers that have also had issues with him. I do think a lot of it was down to the fact that he didn't want to humble himself and apologize and whatnot to Arteta. And I think we've seen that from how Arteta's dealt with certain things, and even like with Aubameyang, for example, who's a lot further along in his career, had a lot more money in the bank with Arsenal fans and things like that. And he dealt with him very similarly. So I'm not surprised in hindsight, but at the time I was a bit disappointed, because I thought, you know, he's a young player. You could have put an arm around him and, you know, give him a bit of an opportunity, should I say, to try and knuckle down, etc. But he didn't do that. And we brought in Lokonga. I think they're different types of players. I think personally, I think I prefer Guendouzi, but I think Lokonga's got a lot to prove still at Arsenal. I think he's done well with the opportunities he's been given so far. I think time will tell.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, me personally, I felt that he was a bit hasty. I think it's a learning curve for Arteta there, to be quite honest. But you know, it like everyone said, it's Arteta's way or the highway, as we've seen.
But it was very early, like you said, isn't it, in his tenure?
Yeah.
And it was very early as a manager for him, like, to be in that situation. So like you said, in hindsight, he could have learned from it.
Yeah, hopefully you find out on the Amazon documentary what exactly happened, and then we could maybe we'll reason with Arteta. You know, we'll see. But we've got two guys here who were at the Arsenal's last match, Marcelo and Norbert. just tell me firstly, what was the atmosphere like on that last minute when we got that goal, man? I'll start with you, Marcelo.
It was crazy, man. Limbs, bro. It was just like I hadn't really felt that sort of environment ever before, you know. I'd been to 2 games before. We won both of them, but it was nowhere close to that level of energy, man. Just like everyone losing their shit. Especially with how important the game was, because, you know, relatively speaking, we're obviously levels above Wolves in terms of stature, but like they've been one of the better teams this season. So, you know, winning twice in 2 weeks against them, that's a big deal because they have one of the best defenses in the league. And I think that was our kind of a scary stat, but that was our first time ever coming back from a halftime deficit under Arteta. So, you know, symbolically too, that was huge for us. So yeah, it was just so fire, man. Everyone just losing their shit all in unison, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a stat there that it's the first time in 3 years that Wolves have lost after a team coming from behind, after being ahead, and then a team coming from behind and beating them. So great victory. Nabir, Mr. Happy, did you smile?
To be honest,
You know, because you're a guy that doesn't really smile. So did you smile at that last when we got that last minute goal? How are you, bro? I'd like to see your face.
I wouldn't say I was smiling, and maybe we weren't at the same game because no, Marcelo. Look, remember, we're a bit. I was North Bank upper, but to be fair,
are you? Me too. That's crazy. We didn't run it. That's fucked.
Imagine that. Use the guy next to you, didn't even realize.
No, I wouldn't know Marcelo. He'll probably be cheering Arteta every time he comes to the touchline.
Of course I am,
just
bro.
sit down and wait.
Like? What does it look like?
No, but the game, no, huge game. Look, I always cuss Arteta for the last 2 8th place finishes. The Wolves did the double over us, just washing us for fun the last couple of years. So to come back and do the double over them, I think we've got to give credit when credit's due. The game, I could see the Gabriel mistake coming because I felt he was a little bit nervous.
I think the whole team was a bit nervous, to be fair, when we first started that match.
I thought, I mean, watching it live, I thought Ben White was fantastic. I'm not even going to lie on that one. But Gabriel looked a bit nervous. Obviously, when the chance, they took the chance, they scored, so early as well. And I was actually sitting with, as I said, another Arteta fan next to me. So this was the game. I just looked at him like, okay, cool. But to come back, we did very well. My boy Pepe again. This is another player again who, Arteta had a few problems with after the red card with Leeds. You're keeping him out there. And I keep saying that. I said it once, I said it thrice on this podcast, that players like Oba and Pepe, forget all of this nonsense. They get goals. And you need people like that to come from the bench. Pepe was ostracized. Let's sell him. He's a flop. I saw a couple of Arsenal fans say this nonsense as well, may I add. And look, he come back. He looked dangerous when he came on. He changed the game. And the finish was fantastic. So I was very happy. Lacazette, he worked hard, didn't he, that game? But Jesus, I mean, the huffing and puffing and, I mean, I'm not going to lie, in that North Bank, listen, the missed chances and the huffing and puffing, we were getting quite frustrated. So the fact that, we thought he scored and then it got chalked off and given to the goalkeeper.
It didn't matter though, man.
He can't buy it.
Nah, man, I'm still giving it to him,
he
man.
made it. Come on, man. He made it happen.
He made it happen. He did. So it was good. And Wolves tried to waste time. That was the best thing about it. You tried to waste time. You want to come down to the Emirates from Brum and try all those tricks. And look what happened. They added on the minutes and we won. So no, it was a fantastic win. It was a fantastic win. I wasn't as happy as Marcelo, but it was a fantastic win. Yeah.
Good. Let's stay on Pepe for a second. Obviously, he's turned the game, to be quite honest. Him and Eddie, to be fair. Would you say for the Watford match? I'll start with you, Colleen. Is he someone who's an impact player that you would bring off from the bench, or is he someone that potentially could get a start in the next match?
I mean, because it's against Watford, I do think we do have what I think and what Arteta thinks are probably two different things. Because I think against an opposition like Watford, I mean, even though it is, I say that, but look at them at Old Trafford. They were fucking awful, but they managed to hold out a draw. I think Arteta is someone who has always said, and you've seen in his play, that if you play well, he will keep you in the side. So, and considering how he's treated Pepe, for whether he feels like maybe defensively he's not good and he doesn't, play the way he wants to play, or whether there's something going on to reason why he's not starting, after that performance, given the way he's treated other players, he should start. Now, he said, Arteta himself, since he came back from AFCON, and he was really good at AFCON, and Arteta said he's come back a completely different player. So if that's the case, and after what he just did in the last match, let's see something then. Let's see him start. But it is a bit of I think he does divide opinion a little bit. So I know a lot of people probably won't necessarily agree and would think we should stick with our regular-ish front three. We've got Smith Rowe, who trained at the Emirates today or yesterday. He's back in. Do you want to drop Martinelli, Ødegaard? And you would imagine Lacazette leads the line. So I'm not sure whether he will, but considering how he's treated everyone else, it seems only fair that he should really come back in.
Where would you try and fit him in? Who would you replace?
If we're playing the way we've been playing, I mean, you've got to take off. It's going to have to be one of the wingers, isn't it? I mean, Saka doesn't come off at all; he stays. So if it's on the wing, if Martinelli was playing, it would have to be Martinelli. But if he's playing with Ødegaard and Smith Rowe, it's probably going to be Smith Rowe who has to come off for him. But with his form as well, he's not really someone you want to drop. But it's a nice problem to have.
Yes, definitely.
He said there's been rumours that he's been training Martinelli as a false nine, and even Smith Rowe as a false nine. So I don't know whether he's planning to do that later on in the latter end stage of the season, or whether he's preparing for a Lacazette injury or an injury at all, because we are very, very, very light. So it'd be quite difficult, but at the minute it's a nice problem to have. And I don't know whether this is too cocky to say, it's a luxury that we have Watford next, but we should really be beating them. And if you watch the game against United, they really couldn't string 2 or 3 passes together going forward. They were awful, absolutely awful. So you would think that'd be a nice game for a Pepe type player, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with those sentiments, Kerr?
Yeah, definitely.
I know you're Pepe's biggest fan.
Hey, listen, come on, Pepe's my guy, man. I love Pepe. I think he's one of them players, like when he's on his game and he's happy and he's enjoying his football, I feel like he's one of them infectious people. Like you just want him, like you can't help but want him to do well. Yeah. And I like him. I think he's got all the talent in the world. I've said it many and many a time on this podcast. I think he's got all the talent in the world. I just think it's about applying it. I don't necessarily think we've seen the best of Pepe. I think we've seen him in, bits and spurts. I think we all kind of expected him to kick on from, was it the end of last season?
Yeah,
he kind of picked up quite a bit of form and ended the season strong. I think he ended up at top scorer, I think, in the end last season.
He was our second top scorer, and he's probably, I would say he's arguably our best finisher at the club right now, to be quite honest.
I personally definitely think he's definitely. I don't think anyone else scores the goal he scored on the weekend. In our team.
Yeah.
I don't think
several times throughout the match tried to that little spin and take a shot on it. And then it comes on. First time round.
It's true.
Precisely. He's got that in his locker all day long, and then he's got that thing, like where a player kind of just goes cold, like they just go cool when they're in front of goal, like it kind of just slows down, and it just looks like they always pick their spot.
He's calm,
like whether it's like they've already thought about how they're finishing this ball, and like everything slows down and it's just boom, like they're either slotting it or he's buried, whatever. Like whenever Pepe's in front of goal, I don't ever really feel like
doubt him
he's gonna miss. Never.
Yeah. And to think as well, I think the night before he just had the birth of his child, and he actually phoned Arteta to say, do you know what, I want to be part of the squad. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't even know he's going to start. So I respect
that's a big thing for me,
Of course,
that's a big thing for me, because for the simple fact of how a lot of people as well have said, like that there must be a problem. You know, like how we've all said it, a lot of us, you know, in terms of why Arteta's not utilised him, because we all know he's got talent. So why he's not utilised him more, we were all questioning, you know, like, oh, there must be an issue, or it's not his signing, or this, that, and the other, in it. But at the end of the day, I feel like Pepe's got all the talent in the world. And as I say, if for him to actually say to Arteta, like, yeah, I want to play after that, that's someone who's kind of bought in to something and wants to be a part of something, in my opinion. You know, because he could have quite easily sat at home for a day or two, you know, just said, you know, boss, just had the baby, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's been being involved recently. So he could have easily been like, you know what, let me have a day or whatever, and I'll be back tomorrow, or whenever the case is. But he didn't. Showed he was willing. I think Arteta kind of repaid him for that as well. And then Pepe in turn repaid him with the performance he put in when he come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's questions about his defensive side, but at the end of the season, is he a player you would look to sell on, or do you see that there's potential in this guy to kick on? I mean, he got 16 goals last season, our second top goal scorer. Nabil, is that someone you would look to get rid of? Obviously, we had the big price tag of 72 million. Not his fault, but would you get rid of him or would you keep him?
No, I think Colleen said something when she said, you know, she would like Arteta to be fair. You know, I'll probably get cane roll before that would happen. To be fair, but this no. But I would do, and that is such a fair point. I'm glad people are seeing the little pettiness from Arteta, what's going on. But no, of course he shouldn't be sold. I actually thought he should have been brought on earlier. I think they brought him on like 71 minutes because it was getting a bit stale before. There was a lot of, as I said, I know you guys love lack of threat, but there was a lot of huffing and puffing and it was a bit stale. And I wanted more. So he should have come on earlier. But this is what I want to see from Mikel. I want to see more man management. I want to see less of the fire guns being shipped out of the club. I want him to put his arm around, because every player is different. You can have a philosophy, but everyone's different. What I mean, I've known you, JR, for a while. You're a little bit more sensitive. You like a little cuddle and stuff. But look at the accent. He's as rough as it is for me. So you got to treat your players differently. And I think Pepe is a little bit of a luxury player, isn't he? He's a bit like Ozil, isn't it, in a certain way that you gotta, you know. But we definitely can't sell him. I think we've definitely got to give him a new contract, because the thing with him, he's so unpredictable. It's a massive, massive, massive goal to have him coming off the bench or even starting. I agree again with Colleen. I think it'll be interesting for him to start against Watford, because it'll be something for them to think about. Roy Hodgson is going to have them well drilled. It's going to be at home, and he's going to be looking to get a draw. So they might, you know, think, okay, we'll watch Arsenal. But with Pepe, you don't know if he's going to go left. You don't know if he's going to go right. And there's no way we can sell him. I think we should actually look to extend his contract, because that's a player who is very, very dangerous. And I've heard a lot of other fans, last thing I'm going to say about Pepe, you always see it on social media. I think as Arsenal fans, we've got to start getting behind our players. You know what I mean? And blanking out all of that negativity, because he didn't ask to be 70 mil. Like the guy's never come in there with big time Charlie. You've never seen him, you know. He just looks like a nice fella who's got a dream move to Arsenal. Whether he's 70 mil or 30 mil, I don't think that should be held against him. But 16 goals last season just goes to show, because I know we wanted Zaha, and he's a more established star, but he's actually outscored Zaha in 2 seasons. Yeah. So, and he never gets the credit for that. And everyone keeps saying Zaha, but he's outscored Zaha. He's younger, and Zaha was on the bench, and he was starting. So in the African nation. So yeah, man, let's big up, support our man, and give him a new contract. Arteta, Xhaka got one. My man has to get one.
Come on.
So what about lack of threat then? Is that someone, you know, he kind of fits into him? He fits into the Arteta system in terms of the way he goes deep, you know, picks up the ball. He's not the natural striker. Aubameyang didn't really fit in because he plays as the last man. So would you give if we got two new strikers, and we kept Lacazette? Would you be happy with that, or is it time for him to go?
Nah, it's time for him to go. He has to go now. Look, Lacazette. Look, I remember when we bought him from Lyon. Man cost 53 mil. I'm not having man costing 53 mil to move like Chris Wood. Look, you're there to score goals. I know all of this system stuff. It's nice, it's cute. I do know. I get that, but he's got a number 9 on the shirt. He needs to be putting the ball in the back of the net, not from penalties, not from. He has a lot of chances. And guys, the running is a serious running. When we've got United and them stuff, the defenses are going to be better. You need to finish your chances. I think at the end of the season, hopefully we get Champions League. You know, just see him. I'll take him to the airport or to the Eurostar. Thank him for everything he's done and keep it moving. If Aubameyang's being shipped out, my man has to be shipped out. I'm sorry, but he done well. But you can't be giving him a new contract. No way.
Wait, Nabil, can I just ask you a question? Yeah, do you trust Arsenal to go ahead this summer? Yeah, and get the 2 strikers of sufficient quality that we're going to need going forward? Because I feel like that plays a big part in if I'm being asked if that gets any kind of extension or not.
The thing is, do I trust Arsenal at present moment? For strikers, no, but they're going to have to get 2. Yeah, that's the thing. We're asking for a lot here, isn't it? And it
that's why But
I think I'm sick of it. But I'm sick to death of the huffing and puffing and missed chances. Like I can't watch it anymore. I'd rather it be someone else that I can actually give him a chance that actually enjoys scoring goals. I want to see a number 9 that enjoys like literally scoring goals. And like at the moment, yeah, he's playing well. Do you know what I mean? The hold up play. I watched him live. It was a good performance, but we need more goals. We can't be relying on Saka, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli. Like, you're the main guy. You're the main focus there as number 9. If Lajovic was our number 9, we'd be talking about but would you be happy with he's huffing and puffing and holding the ball up?
You would be talking about Lacazette, we wouldn't be talking about it. We don't even know him right now.
Because my thing on it, yeah, as well, yeah, is because like if we don't sell our like if we let him go, yeah, and then we got to replace him, I'm thinking like, are they gonna try and go? Like instead of us going for one real bagsman, yeah, who we're gonna throw the bag at to get, yeah, who's gonna really make the difference, or are they gonna turn around and say, okay, we're gonna we need 2 strikers, so we're gonna go for someone of a bit less, so then we can afford, do you know what I mean, another striker or whatever, like. Because if they're gonna do it like that, personally, I'd rather them turn around. I'd rather keep Laka. This is personally, I'd rather keep Laka for another season or whatever. I'll give him a year or so extension, yeah, and throw the bag at the real bagsman, and Laka can just be the backup, senior member of the squad and whatnot, and do that role and come in, for the cup games and things like that as and when he's needed. And then you've got your real bagsman that as I said, we can throw the
good point.
All your money at. That's the kind of angle I'm thinking, because I don't really trust Arsenal to throw the bag at someone and then go and get someone who's going to also be able to fill in to a decent enough standard, not like an Nketiah or someone.
I think it's if we get top 4,
someone who's going to do something.
I think if we get top 4, then I think we get the opportunity to go for both those players. If we don't get top 4, it's going to be difficult to get the player that we want. The likes of Lajovic, he probably was going to go to Juventus all the time, to be fair. But a guy like that would entertain actually coming to us if we had that top 4.
League, it changes everything.
It changes everything, man.
It changes everything. But yeah, like I can't be coming out in that Champions League music, man. I don't want to.
I'm not saying I want him starting like that either, fam. I'm not saying that either, bro. I'm just saying I don't know if I trust us to get.
I put some respect to his name, man.
No, man would probably get tired after the Champions League music. It'll be too much for man.
What happened to backing our players?
Doing this after the warm-up.
Players.
You said back our players like 10 minutes
He's
ago.
talking about
dog.
backing
Bro, but I said, listen, I said he worked hard, but he's not scoring.
Uh-huh.
If your striker's not scoring goals, it's very hard to compliment him. But as you
it's
said,
not
he's working hard.
the definition of a striker is changing though, bro. Like you
I
look
agree.
at Pep, you look at Guardiola's system, you look at what Arteta's trying to replicate. The striker is not meant to score all the goals now.
Not,
He's supposed
yeah,
to.
bro.
He's
Facts.
facilitating. Look, I don't think Laka should be starting for us next season. I agree with that. And I also agree with Kurt. I think he should stick around because the young guys really look up to him and he's been a really good mentor for them. But we need a striker who's going to be doing way more than scoring. Like, that won't be his main job, but that'll obviously only work if our wingers are contributing the goals, which they're doing now. When you look at Pepe, Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe. But that's why I don't really want to sign 2 strikers, because I think that when you look at the balance we have right now in the squad in terms of camaraderie and minutes and all that, yeah, we'll be back in Europe. Whether you want to believe it or not, Nabil, all right, we're gonna be top 4. We're gonna hear that music, bet, trust me. I think signing 2 strikers in the same window is gonna be really hard in terms of balancing and keeping everyone happy. So I'd rather keep locked up for depth, because I do think we're gonna start seeing more of Smith Rowe as a false 9. Whether you agree with it or not, I think we're gonna start seeing him as false 9, and I think that we should bring in 1 striker, so that we don't risk one guy already, from the jump being unhappy with his minutes, and then we have a little bit of, unrest in the dressing room, which right now seems to be in a perfect place. But yeah, man, like Laka needs to finish those chances. We would be so much closer to top 4 secured if he scored that goal against Burnley, right? And Wolves' game would have been less stressful if he didn't, whiff those. He had so many ugly shots. But I do trust.
Okay, so we're on the same page,
bro.
Marcelo. We're on the same page, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're on a similar page. But I like the way Marcelo
Same
put
chapter,
it across.
same chapter.
That's the thing, because I agree with everything Marcelo said as well.
Yeah. He's less brutal than the bear. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We need to toughen up, bro.
Yin and yang, bro. Yin and yang.
Let's talk about, obviously, Arsenal have got a new set of young players, a new set of British players. I want to compare them to the previous core. Do you remember that previous core from 2012 when we had the likes of Kieran Gibbs, Wilshere, Ramsey, Ox? Some of you may not have been old enough. I know Colleen and Marcelo, Kerr as well. You're probably too young. But do you remember?
What?
Come on, these lot must remember.
No, I'm sure you all remember. But that we had that English core of players, and they were good set of players, but they didn't hit the level, the standards that we hoped for.
They made top 4 every year, though. They made top 4 every year. They didn't finish. That's true as well. How do you feel this new set?
Competition when it's stiff.
How do you think this new set compare, though, of British players like Saka, ESR, Ben White, Ramsdale? Colleen, do you see something more in this new set, or is it too early to say?
I think we also got to take into account that, that's what, almost 10 years ago, or 10 years ago. It's a different game, even 10 years ago. It's a different game. We're talking about different styles and different kind of ways we were playing, opposition tactics. The game evolves every year, it feels like. So I don't want to be too harsh on them, but you do feel like Saka, especially, is probably one of the best things to come out of Hell End. Like top, if not the best, top 2, and not even 2, literally. Smith Rowe. I don't think no one was talking about Smith Rowe. No one was talking about Smith Rowe. Even though on his several loans when he came back, no one was talking about Smith Rowe. He got his chance because we were awful, and then he just shone.
Crazy.
We didn't really have an option. So if we weren't as awful, I think he probably still was getting the lack of recognition today, to be honest with you. So it worked out well for him. That British core at the time, I don't think they were all that great. I did have a soft spot for Kieran Gibbs, but I think he was about 18 months, like to that kind of level that we wanted to push on from top 4. But they were pretty much top 4-ish level when now, especially, and where we were kind of like walking in. It was getting harder each year, but we were kind of getting in. each time. Whereas now it's just so competitive, you really have to adapt. I think our current group are much better, but they are better suited to the current game, you know? So it's a little bit difficult, but and the benefit of hindsight, you've seen how their career trajectories have gone. You know, Wilshere has been out of football for how long and now is at a Danish club. You know, Ramsey went off to Juventus after Emery didn't want him, and now didn't really pan out too great. I mean, he won things, but no Juve fans being like, I want Ramsey on the back of my shirt. Kieran Gibbs from. And Ox he ended up going to Liverpool, but he's not really an integral player for Liverpool. So it's a bit difficult to say, but I still think that our current group is probably better. But even taking into account the modern game and how we play, especially with the overloads and our wingers tending, especially Smith Rowe and Saka, when they score their goals and the way they play, generally the way we play normally is if we've got possession and, say if we've got like 6% possession, you'll see the fullback overlap and then of course we'll try and come in on the inside. But what they do now, which is a little bit better to our game, which might be an Arteta thing as well, maybe not just how the game's evolved, how they scored their 2 goals against Brentford on the break. They were on the wing, but they came in and turned in on the inside and went narrower without the fullbacks there on the break. And it's something that we haven't really seen from Arsenal in the way they play. And I think that's what really makes them those kind of players for us, and especially with the way they finish. So I'm going to go with the current crop, but it's still so soon to tell, especially Ramsdale's first season. He's done very, very well, but it's about consistency. Hence why we are in a 3-way top 4 race, because they are consistently inconsistent as a collective.
No facts.
I might have to go with the old. That is some great points, though. To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna have to go with the old guard.
Tell me why.
Now, if I remove Saka from this, because he is a standout, but Wilshere, you're right. In regards, I think Wilshere's biggest mistake, and he actually admitted his biggest mistake, was literally going. He should have just said, I'm not going to be in the first team. I can get back to this team. But you've got to put into perspective that Wilshere was similar age, 60. I used to watch him at the Carling Cup games, and he was just phenomenal. But then he got into the first team. Like, Wilshere was that good. He gets disrespected, but Gerrard, in 2006, when Walcott got into Sven's squad, even in everybody's autobiography, they were like, I don't know how this has happened. How can you take him instead of Defoe? Like, Jack Wilshere for England at a time was sitting in that midfield with Lampard and Gerrard. And then were like, yeah, he should start. Now, for me, apart from Saka now, which you could say for the England team now, arguably, they're probably going to start Raheem, Kane, and probably Saka will get in. But that's how advanced Wilshere was. It's just a shame that he was managed badly. He played too many games, too young, and Wenger has to take that on the chin. Well, yeah, because he was in that mix, wasn't he? Listen, no matter what anybody says, Saka is a bad boy. I love him. We took on Barcelona. There's no Arsenal player in history, young player in history, is in the midfield with Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, and doing them things there. I'm sorry. I love Saka, but he it's not running. Like, maybe him, but the rest
him, come on.
But no, but that game was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Even Xavi was like, who is this kid?
Different gravy, man.
Yeah. So we're taking that away.
Jack
Ramsey, Ramsey, again, clean, great point with Juve. They're not going to remember him. But to be fair, he has actually been the winning goal scorer for 2 FA Cups. So for me, again, when the goals really mattered, he actually done his thing. Look, there you go. There's a FA Cup 2013, Chelsea. Look, there's your FA Cup again. So Ramsdale and Ben White, very, very good signings this season. But I just kind of think with that crop of players, especially with the Ox as well, I thought the Ox, like you had a soft spot for Gibbs, I had a soft spot for the Ox because apart from the injuries, I thought he had everything. Yeah. Quick, he could finish. It's just Wenger played him on the left of that.
Injuries again as well.
But Ox actually had he's one of the perfect athletes if it wasn't for the injuries. So That's why I'm just gonna give it to them guys. I'm just gonna give it to them guys because we've still got a lot to prove. But those boys there were playing Champions League football, getting top 4, and them man were youths. Like they were youths. We were playing against big Chelsea. I'm not they didn't win the league, but they were getting in top 4. We're getting excited about getting in the top 4. We're not in Europe. We're not in any cups. So that sort of pressure, they were under a different pressure.
The great thing about this new crop though is their story is yet to be confirmed or decided. You know, they've just come. We have to give them credit. The fact is, it's their first season together playing for the same team. You know, a lot of these players. Obviously, Saka's been there for a while, but the likes of Ramsdale, Ben White, you know, they've just come in and they've been doing well. So we'll see how the story unravels. Nobel, I want to stay with you for a second. 3 wins in February. Does Arteta deserve manager of the month?
Oh my God.
3 out of 3, bro. 3 out of 3. Talk to me.
To be fair, how
Can I just add as well? We had 10 men away from home to Wolves, you know. 10 men. We still got the victory. We also were losing to Wolves at home, you know. It hasn't been done in 3 years. We overturned that 1-0 score and we went on to beat them. Now you can talk. Continue, bro.
Manager of the month, I don't know about that. But what I would say, but after the way January started, I think we kind of deserve some wins. Let's just be real. Look, at the end of the day, I said this to you guys before you guys tried to shut me down, but usually what happens is about 2 to 3 weeks later, I'm proven right again, and that just seems to go on. I said this. I said about Manchester City, you guys tried to come to me. I said, listen, Arteta, it's fair play getting those wins against Brentford and all them sort of guys, but you can't just keep bending over and opening up yourself for Liverpool to just rinse you, and Man City every time it's like, oh, let's not even count them games. I said it's very important for a squad. I said this happened in '97 with the double winning team. We took on the best team in the country, we beat them, and that gives you the confidence to go forward. It's still not the case. It has been good wins. I'm not questioning that. It has been good wins. But again, I said about the Man City, you got Spurs dealing with Manchester City. When I saw that result, I'm not gonna lie, I thought.
Yeah, but bro, we're talking about consistency over the month of February. I'm just talking about managing the month of February. You know, Spurs, they did beat City, but they had the loss as well, you know. So
I think manager of the month will go to Klopp personally. So
you're thinking of anyone, aren't you? Anyone?
No, man, just come on. They'll go to Klopp or Tuchel for winning the World Club Championship. But no, we've done well. You know, he's come back.
Manager of the month for the Premier League, bro.
Well, Liverpool would have 3 points off the top, so they've been winning. You know what I mean? So, guys, you got him at the top.
He just can't do it. He just can't do it.
No,
I don't know what Arteta did to him. I really don't know.
Oh shit!
But no,
Sorry,
the run has been fantastic. Let me not use the word fantastic. It's been good, and this is what I wanted. Let's just keep it going. But I don't think about manager of the month now. But until I see top 4, then that's fine. Because Obe scored 5 and 4, may I add. So all of this cacao
is 5 and 5 now, you know.
Look at that. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Let me just keep quiet.
But he didn't fit into our system, but good luck.
I was gonna say,
bro.
And
can't be throwing that out there like that, man. Like we weren't playing too strict. Like when Uber was here, bro, he wasn't finishing his dinner. Like
hold on. Let me just say one thing, yeah. When you break up with your other half, like sometimes you just gotta stop talking about them and just let them go. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wish them the best. Yeah. That's how it is with Aubameyang. Yeah. Relationship's done. He's doing well. Good luck to him. But that's done.
It's best for both parties, bro. Like,
agree.
We're talking about it. We're talking about a year and a half of shit form.
Exactly.
Form, bro. I'm never gonna disrespect all the great things he did for us. He's one of our best players.
Why is your face like that, Naveer? Like he said something wild. His form for the last year and a half was not great, man.
Who was our
top goal scorer last season? But if you're trying to,
who was our top goal scorer last season?
His form weren't great
Arteta-
last season, though, bro.
Lacazette was our top goal scorer. Then Pepe,
What?
then Aubameyang.
Yeah, bro. We have to let it
Oh,
go.
last season.
Last season, you're talking,
shit.
yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
when
Google it
do you
now,
remember
bro.
when Alba? Do you remember when Alba missed an open goal against Newcastle? Do you remember when
Yeah,
Alba hit the
baby.
post from 2 yards out? Do you
Okay.
remember when Alba
Listen,
stole a goal from
this-
Odegaard that was going in when he was offsides? Like,
You
it's
guys
just it
won't let
happens, bro.
Aubameyang-
La Liga's holiday for
We
him.
got
bro.
him.
La
We
Liga's
got him.
easy breezy
We got
compared to
him.
Premier League. Let him enjoy the weather, bro. Like, he deserves that. It's just not.
But to be fair,
it's-
no. To be fair, you're right. I think we're much better off with Lacazette. Definitely, yeah,
Funny
definitely.
guy.
100%. We're
We
better
are.
off. The disrespect
So,
for
we
Oba.
are.
The guy single-handedly won us our last trophy. You know,
And he did.
People
And
come
that
out
was
of form.
almost 2 years ago.
And he
People
weren't playing
come
through the
out of-
middle either as our main striker.
Fair
Mhm.
enough.
It's a different
People
game
get-
now, man. We're
people
trying to
get out
implement a
of
different
form.
system.
But
He
people
doesn't fit
come
into
out
that
of form.
system.
People come out of form. He may not be starting, but he's a threat off the bench.
The
If
Bear,
he's
how
doing
long
it
are
for
we gonna wait?
Barcelona, no,
Yeah,
if he's
no.
doing it for Barcelona, and they're much bigger
Respect
club than
to
us.
him. Respect to
Like
him.
we
He's
can't
doing.
chat to Barca.
Yeah.
So
Respect
if he
to
can
him.
get a tune out of him, Arteta could. But if he gets top four, then I'm not saying anything. If we don't get top four,
He'll come back to that.
You know how it is when
Yeah.
you're in a relationship, Nabil, man.
listen,
gotta
it's
let it
always
go,
good
man.
to check up on your ex. Sometimes it's good to check up on your ex. Am I lying?
That's only if you got certain intentions, my
That's what I'm
brother.
saying, bro. You gotta cut it.
Colleen,
You
am I
gotta
lying?
cut it,
Sometimes,
man.
listen, look, if Colleen was dating Tay Diggs or Anthony Joshua, she's gonna tell her friends, yeah, that is actually my ex. You'll show them who your ex was in it and say, look, that's the right ex was. That's how I feel with Oba. He was a peng ting, and I'm happy, and I'd always say, look, this, that's
Yeah,
that
but
was
that's
my
why I'm
level.
happy for him. I'm happy for him. But it's also like he's also at the beginning stage of a honeymoon period. Do you get what I'm saying? Like this is his new honeymoon.
Yeah,
Like, you know what
exactly.
I mean? When we you know what I mean? When anyone meets a new potential, partner or whatever,
You
they
don't
always
talk
put
about
their
the
best
past.
foot forward, innit?
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Real
Like
talk.
you're
Would
trying
you
to show them
say-
that your best self. You know what I
But what
mean?
would
And
you
that's
say
what
our
Oba's doing.
stages with-
He's showing Barca that his best self, innit?
But what about
So-
Lacazette? What stage are we at here now? Are we
Boy,
speaking in
like,
different
Lacazette-
rooms?
Hey,
Are we
That's
speaking in
different,
different
bro.
rooms?
That's
Are we
changing
staying
the
together for the
narrative,
kids?
bro. We're talking about Oba right now,
Eddie,
bro.
we-
Yeah,
like,
let's
you
change
know
the
what,
narrative,
we're
bro.
not even talking about Uber no more. We're gonna stay on Arteta though. We're gonna compare him to Conte, because obviously a lot of people have been talking that Conte, he is the best, one of the best managers in the world. We've seen a number of outbursts recently from Conte.
It's so good. It's so good. It's amazing.
Love it.
Now, thinking of Arsenal, let me ask this to Kerr. Would you say that, on reflection now, in terms of the process, the long term, the changes, the getting rid of the negativity, implement a new system, implementing a strategy of getting the young players, who is the best manager to do that? Would you have preferred Conte, or would you prefer Arteta in what we're trying to Arsenal trying to implement?
Where are you going with this? I was looking at the bear, I was sitting there looking at the bear as they are speaking, thinking, I know the bear's thinking what I'm thinking right now. I know exactly where he's landed.
I know exactly what the bear's thinking.
Let's see if Kerr's nose is going to grow from this next answer. That's all I'm saying. So,
what you trying to say, man?
No,
Pinocchio.
tell your truth. Tell your truth.
All right, listen, yeah. Man's trying to get man clipped up. Listen, okay. Nah, in all seriousness, yeah. Look, let's not beat around the bush in it. Conte is the more experienced manager, the more decorated manager. He's done things in it. He's got the CV. Arteta he's at the beginning, he's at the start. So you can't compare them like that. And if you're gonna ask me now, okay, say at any point, say at the beginning of, I don't know, at the beginning of this season, for example, if we could have swapped the managers, Conte and Arteta, I'd have probably bit your hand. I would have bit your hand off to do that. right? I know it would. I've always had my reservations about Conte because of one of the things that you mentioned there, in terms of, he likes older players, what can seem like quick
Yeah.
fixes and things like that, like the Ashley Youngs of this world and the Victor Moseses of this world and people like that. Not to say that they were bad players, but where we are as a club, we've seen a lot of that already in our time. The
Doesn't work for
Willians,
us.
this, that, and the other, in the not too distant future, And I'm glad at the moment. I'm glad our club's going in a completely different direction from that. And looking at it now, personally, I'm happy to stick with Arteta as it goes, and see, give him the opportunity to prove himself and, try and get us top 4 this season and whatnot. Because I like the trajectory we're beginning to move in. Do I think Conte could potentially get more out of the crop of players that we've got at this moment in time? Potentially.
Ooh.
Potentially,
Okay.
if I'm being deadly honest, just because of experience, this, that, and the other. One of the things that we talk about as well, which Naber mentioned earlier as well, is about man management and things like that. As I said, Arteta is still learning the game. These are things that Conte's already done. Like he's already a man manager. He's already a motivator. He's already a tactician. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Arteta is still finding his feet in that respect. So I really can't turn around and put any slander on Conte's name like that. Although I wouldn't change our position for Spurs' position.
Yeah.
As things stand. That's how I'd also put it. So I'm happy with where we are, where we're going, the trajectory we seem to be on at the moment under Arteta. As I say, I'm happy to give him the opportunity for the rest of this season to see how he gets on, and try and make that top 4 spot. And I'll be disappointed if we don't, if I'm being quite honest. But yeah, I liked Conte before he joined Spurs, but now he's their manager. I don't want him
No,
near
he's still a top manager. He's still a top manager.
I'm happy with Arteta after that.
Yeah, that was a great political response, Kerr. I like it. And Colleen, in terms of, we'll talk about Man United briefly because we're going to wrap up soon. In terms of the restructure and Arsenal, would you say that we're now ahead of Man United in terms of what we're trying to achieve? When you look at the fact that, they haven't won any cups really in the last few seasons. I think 2017, they did win the Europa Cup. In terms of the aging team, the likes of Ronaldo, Cavani, the likes of Pogba coming towards the end of his contract as well. Would you say that Arsenal are ahead of Man United in terms of the restructure, or would you say that's a myth?
I don't know. I think it's difficult to say because I think the way both clubs are at present in the last couple of years are trying to build are in different directions. So we haven't even achieved anything yet to know if ours is going right yet. We've finished 8th twice in a row. So this season we will see
Preach, sister, preach.
He's been saying this for weeks.
Oh my God.
It's a very hated category that you're in. Which is why I was quite surprised that when Man United had the opportunity, they didn't go for Conte because their current squad screams like a Conte squad to me.
Facts.
Yeah,
facts.
He doesn't stay at a club for long. He's not, so where modern Arsenal, we're used to, obviously we've had Wenger for so long, and Emery was a longer term plan. It was cut short. We even held on to him longer than we should have. Whereas at United, when you look at Conte, he doesn't stay at clubs long, 24, 36 months, the max. But he's there for players for now and to win there and then. So if anyone was going to make that squad click, I would have, out of who was available. I don't know why they didn't go for Conte. So with their current squad, whereas ours is a much younger squad where we're trying to build and eventually be competitive, it's kind of hard to see. And in terms of investment-wise, the Glazers kind of went the way the Kroenkes did with the Rams in terms of buying for now. Because at the beginning of the season and even now, if you look at their squad, why are they not challenging for the title? That is a very, very good squad. So whether it's an egos thing, whether it's a coaching, I mean, Ollie was never United standard. It was a lot of sensationalism, and you know, the past is why he stayed there for so long. But they should be challenging. So, and I think it was a big mistake on their board's front. If they had got the right coach in, we would not be talking about. They would not be in this kind of mix right now, unless there's something culturally deeply wrong. I'm not a Man United fan, so I don't follow them that deeply to know the ins and outs. In comparison to us, I'm not mad at us where we're trying to build. I've bought into the idea. I'm sold on it now. So I do think where we are, from where we were at the beginning of the season, I would have just been happy to at least try and get back into the Europa League. Not even Champions League was not in my thinking. But that's the thing about football. You know, the goalposts literally move in terms of expectations. And I know Arteta's just trying to say game by game, but he will know, and inside the squad will know that we are, whether a little bit or, you know, they should be quietly confident that they should be favourites for top 4. They should be getting it in the position that we're at. Now, the reason why we're in this position, though, is because all 3 teams, us, Tottenham, United, are so inconsistent. You know, we're consistently inconsistent. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do drop off. But in terms of the rebuilds and whose project is going better, okay, Arteta's won the FA Cup and Community Shield. United, if they don't win the League Cup next year, I think they're on their longest drought since like the late 60s into the early 70s, I think. So for them, historically, that's it's a massive red flag for them. So you can expect a lot of investment in the summer, whichever way they choose to go. So if you look at it trophies-wise, yes, we're ahead. And if you're thinking we're going to develop the squad, and if our trajectory keeps going like that in terms of the growth of the younger players, then right now it seems like a great position to say that. But if we lose 2 games in a row, say once we play our, you know, Tottenham's Liverpool, we might be like, you know what, this is not. We're still. You know, can't win away at Tottenham. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If we reach top 4 by the end of this season, I don't think we can even say at the end of this season. I'm thinking of the next season, because if we reach top 4 now, the goal is not to challenge after that. That is so unrealistic. It's to stay in the top 4, get back to being as that.
You start challenging City and Liverpool.
Yeah, so all it takes for United at the minute is to get the right coaching. The squad's there. Yeah. Okay, they've got, Barney, Pogba's 3 superstars essentially who are aging, but with their money and how they spend, they're very easily replaceable. And with the right coach, they will click like that. So it's hard to say. I think I still need more time, because there will be bumps in the road for us where we're going to have to go with it. But if we finish 4th, you know, you can't say we're not on the right track. But if we finish 8th again, 3 seasons on the trot, after a heavy investment, you have to question things.
The excuses will be coming out, though. The excuses will be coming out. We'll be talking about February, how it was that great, and let's build on from. Man, I'm ready. But you're right. Listen, spot on. This is. I've got nothing to say. Everything is just.
I'm a bit nervous if you're agreeing with me, because I feel like I'm on the wrong side of the fence.
Yeah, no, you're on the right side. You're on the right side. You just didn't.
This wasn't meant to happen. This wasn't meant to happen.
You're all right.
Marcelo, then are we favourites for? Just going on the back of what Colleen said, are we favourites for top 4? Would you say now? And also, do you think we can get into? Obviously, West Ham have got Liverpool this week, I think, away from home, and then Man United have got Man City away from home. If we win our match this week against Watford, we go into 4th position with 3 games in hand. Are we favourites for top 4?
Yeah.
Is it too early to say? Am I talking too early?
No. I think it would be fair to say that we're favorites, which is crazy, because even less than a month ago, I would have disagreed with that. But you saw both Spurs and Man U dropping some really big points that they shouldn't have dropped, and now it is kind of ours to lose, honestly, which is it. It feels slightly unfair to say, because I was saying this. I actually said this on AFTV. I don't think we have any world-class players, so that's the only difference for me. Is like it would be. I personally think it would still be overachieving for us to get top 4. But when you look at the table, it's ours to lose now. So, you know, we really can't slip up. If results happen, things, freak moments, whatever happens, I really don't think that we should be fumbling this. Because, but I will say games in hand don't mean anything, right? Like we saw Man U choke multiple times. We saw Spurs choke multiple times. So we have to win those games, like Colleen was saying. And like, that's a big if, because with a young team, you're going to get inconsistency and confidence can drop very quickly. And while you can't blame the young guys for that, you can blame the lack of established players that we have not signed, whether that was last summer or this January. So, if we get it, then it's a masterstroke, and it's one of the biggest achievements in our club's recent times. That's no cap. That's just facts. Nabir, you could question all you want, bro, but if we get top four of this squad, that's crazy. There's just no, I think that's even debatable. But if we don't get it, then it's very easy to point to January and be like, y'all fumbled the bag, because if you signed even one or two good players, then this would have been guaranteed. So it's a really, really big few months, man, because I really appreciate what Colleen said too, is like getting to top four, that's cool. But staying there is the only thing that actually matters. Yeah, what do you guys say, bro? What you feeling now?
Yeah. No, but we're gonna let you.
Yeah, because the bear's pulling mad faces.
I love it.
We're gonna let you make your point, and then we're gonna end it with match prediction for the Watford match from each of us. And,
let me make my point very quickly. Now, I listen. Remember, I'm a little bit older. Man has seen 89. Man has seen 91. Man has seen the double. Man has seen the 2002 double, the Invincible.
You did say recent times, though, bro.
No, but look, recent.
That's all irrelevant to what I said. Yeah.
No, but recent times. And what is recent? How far are we going? 10
That's what I'm saying.
Everything you just said is 16 years ago, so that's not really recent.
No, but I'm saying, but how far are we going recent? Because it's top four, guys.
The Emirates. Let's talk the Emirates.
If we get into the top four, remember there is a big caveat here, and I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer, but it's the first time we haven't been in Europe for 25 years. We're not going on like we're still in Europe and in the cups and we're still doing this in the league. This is what happened to Liverpool. I said it. Liverpool were not in Europe and they took advantage of that top four. The same thing happened with Chelsea as well. I want to get top four, but like Colleen and like yourself, Marcelo, I'm not going to start getting excited and patting Arteta on the back, because for me, we've gone way backwards to get to this. We've gambled everything to get to top four. So it does look great. Like, oh my God, we've done fantastic top four. We're playing less games than everybody. We've got more time to replenish the players. We're not in any cups as well. So you want me to do backflips? The fact that you're going to be challenging for the top four. For me, that would have been a minimum. We've given you everything you want. You've ostracized Oba. We give everything you want, 130 million in the summer. No Europe. For me, I would have been like, you got to be looking about fifth, fourth. The way the table's going, we can't really flop this. I won't say it's the best in recent times, because I just wouldn't say it is, because I would like to have still been in Europe, to be fair. I thought that would have been good. I think Arsenal out of Europe, you guys seem very comfortable with it. With me, I'm very uncomfortable with the fact that.
Would you agree that we're favourites still, though? Now, would you agree that we're favourites?
Of course we're favourites. We can't be flopping now. Of course we're favourites, because we've got all of the advantages.
Okay. We'll end with your what's your prediction for the Watford match? Now, you've been negative in the last couple of weeks, and, and we've got victories. Arteta's nearly got that manager of the month. Tell us, Watford, what's it going to be?
I think it's
away from home?
2-2 draw.
Come on, bro.
No, I'm playing. No,
man.
No, to be fair, I think we'll win, but
home or away?
Away.
It's away. I think we'll win, but it's gonna be. We're gonna make this tough. I don't think we're just gonna roll in there and steam them.
Agree.
I really hope that would happen, but this is Arteta ball. It's not gonna happen like that. It's gonna be very close as well. So hopefully, maybe a 1-0. Yeah. Well, maybe 1-0. Okay. Now, if we lose, I should have been negative, isn't it? Really, because I've been negative all of February and we've won. So
it's true.
Let's just see.
Right, I'm gonna go for a 3-1 victory to Arsenal. I'm gonna be positive as always. I predicted us for the victory each time for the last 3-4 weeks, and we've done it. So I want to continue with that trajectory. I think Pepe is going to get on the score sheet as well. He's not going to start, but he's going to come on. He's going to get another goal, and the talk's going to be whether he should start the next match. Colleen, what's your prediction for Sunday?
Let's see if they can handle the pressure of 4 wins on the bounce. I'm going to be optimistic. I think we will win 2-0, actually. I don't see them scoring. Like, I can't. I think that was probably, when I watched them against United, I think that's probably the worst offense football when they did try and attack that I've probably seen all season. If they score against us, it'll be our own doing, to be honest with you. It should be an easy clean sheet, but they will, as you said earlier, Hodgson will have them well drilled defensively. But if we want top form, we want to play with the big boys, it should be a 2-0 win, no matter how difficult it may be. So let's see.
No excuses. No excuses.
Okay. That's 3 victories we predicted so far. Kerr, you going to continue with that trajectory?
Do you know what?
Here we go.
I'm a bit upset that Colleen went before me, because she just basically said everything I was going to say, if I'm being completely honest with you. I was going 2-0. I don't see them scoring. I see us getting at least 2 goals, personally.
Okay.
The way we're playing, the confidence in the squad at the moment. As with Arsenal, I can't tell you who's going to score, but we're going to get a couple of goals, and I don't see him scoring. So
Smith Rowe's back as well, which is good.
Yeah, he's back. He's back in training and stuff. I think the most of our squad's pretty strong. So yeah.
Tomiyasu still, but
yeah. Do you know what? That one's a bit worrying though, because because he was meant to have been back last game, and then
he's got
some the game he was out again. So, but it seems like it's been like this for weeks. Like he's nearing a return, and then each squad that comes by, we don't see him.
Yeah, I don't know. He's turning up on time. Let's hope he's turning up on time. Someone give him a call.
I don't think we've got anything to worry there.
Dude. You're gonna be drunk. You're the drunk calling Alba at 3 a.m., bro. But speaking of threes, I'm saying 3-0.
3-0, yeah.
I mean, after the win against Wolves, man, these kids are gonna be buzzing. Like, I think that could be the turning point in terms of how much they can actually trust the process themselves. Because that was a statement. That was a statement, in my opinion. So I think 3-0, because they'll just be super gassed after that and ready to just keep piling it on. But I agree, 4 wins in a row would be it's a big task. So, but I think they're up for it. Yeah, 3-0.
Well, there you have it. We've all predicted a victory for Sunday, so that's positive. Hopefully we get it, and hopefully Man United lose, West Ham lose, and we go into 4th position with 3 games in hand. Guys, it's been a pleasure talking Arsenal and football this week with you lot, my dream team. I appreciate your efforts. I appreciate your time. People, if you've been watching today, like, subscribe. Until next week, take care. Blessings. Peace, people.